Mm,
I think it was the 2014 that references the self-agreement.
We have the two.
That lays out all the.
Yes.
We'll have to go.
Very old document.
Must be a reason why I can't be here.
The council is in 2007.
Okay,
Your hammer.
here comes Dominic right now.
There he is.
Good timing.
Got a full house.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call to order the city council meeting on Tuesday, April 17th, 2026. Janice, would you please do the roll call?
Councilmember Atlan,
Here.
Councilmember LaFane. Here. Councilmember Mitchell,
Here.
Vice Mayor Rhodes.
Here.
And Mayor Beta.
Here. In closed session tonight, we're going to have 5 p.m. closed session. We have 3 items. Before I'll read them off, and before this, after I read them off, we'll go ahead and open it up for public comment. First item is going to be conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, City of Ione versus Allison LaFane, individually and as doing business as J. Bolden West LLC, Amador County Superior Court. Number 2, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to government code, 1 potential case. Number 3, conference with labor negotiators, agency designated representative George Lee, city manager, and the unrepresented employee is Police Chief John Alfred. So at this point, we'll go ahead and open it up for anybody to have some public comment.
Good evening, Dave Johnson. Hey, I wanted to talk to you guys because I know I've been sort of droning on about mediation and that kind of stuff. I noticed something in the last meeting that really caught my attention. Normally when Andy gets up, he's sort of like that pizza guy, Tommy. It's sort of just funny, but he started citing that he knows things. At 6:38 in his comments, he made a comment that the city had apparently offered a $10,000 settlement with payments in it. I've attended every meeting since, I think, February last year. I've never heard anything publicly stated about a settlement agreement. So one of my questions, I guess, would be to you, Josh. If that's a closed session thing, how the hell does Andy know about a $10,000 settlement with payments involved in it? You can watch last meeting and see that he mentions that. So that sort of bothered me because I've been droning on and on about mediation, thinking there was mediation. Apparently there was a settlement offered and Andy knows about it. So don't know how he knows about that or who told him because I didn't see anything in any public comment at all. Second thing I have is because we're in there, the lead attorney that works for your office was here and stayed for the entire meeting. I hope we're not getting billed for her to stay the whole time. If she's leading on that, I would hope she's only going to bill us for the time she was here because I noticed she came in before the deal and didn't leave till the end. So I'm a little concerned about that anyhow because I think it's a total conflict of interest that we have a Josh representing us from the law firm representing the city, and then we have another attorney that works in the same office that is billing us for this lawsuit that, at least from what Marcia asked last time, is there a budget? You guys have a maximum. We don't get any answer on that. So every billable hour is more money for this law firm. And at some point, I would think Josh would say, well, if we're going to offer a $10,000 settlement, and I've heard the lawsuit is in the 20s, if the bill is over what the lawsuit is to begin with, at some point, don't you have to be responsible for how much of the city's money you're going to spend on something that, like I was saying before, it says mediation, mediation, mediation. Maybe you guys tried to do that with this $10,000 thing that Andy was talking about, but I think it's worth looking into, at least at your office, Josh, because you have a lead attorney that's, I guess, doing this, and you're supposed to be representing the city, but it seems like your office makes more money no matter what. If they're doing billable hours, you're getting more money, and it seems to me you should be stepping up and saying, hey, we're over. We're spending way more taxpayer money than we should be on this project. So that really bothered me. So you guys can look it up if you want. It's at 6:38 in last meeting. It's on YouTube where you can see Andy saying that. When I heard it, I thought, man, what the hell is he talking about? He said he knew more. He wasn't going to say anything there. Then we're all supposed to zip our lips and not say anything on social media and let you guys handle it. So that just, it really hung with me from the last meeting that somebody is leaking out to Andy to where he, if it's true, I mean, I don't know that it's true, but he said 10,000 and the offered monthly payments. So if that's true, somebody's talking to Andy. And he's, I don't know.
Yeah,
If you watch
15
the video,
seconds.
if you watch the video, he said it multiple times that I know more and I'm not going to say anything here. Zip your lips and let you guys do your thing. Thank you.
Hey, Josh, would you like to take the first one? I'll be happy to take the second one.
Point of order. It's public comment.
Denied.
Point of order, just
I don't
Boy, it's been nice. Okay, any better public comment?
comments on at this moment, no.
Question.
Good evening, Marcia Edick. I typically like to come prepared for meetings. Tonight is not one of those nights. First of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Johnson. He kind of addressed everything I was going to talk about, but I'm going to second a lot of what he said. I also heard that statement by Andy Aguilera. I found it interesting. Didn't think much about it beyond that, but in hindsight, clearly if somebody has the information and it hasn't been disclosed to the public, how did he get that information? And again, assuming it's true. So it would be nice if we could hear whether or not it's true and how that information got to a member of the public. Secondarily, I too am concerned about the attorney's fees. As you know, for 8 months or so, I've created this chart that I've been updating with the warrant information for every meeting. And I do know that we're up around $25,000 for the lawsuit against our council member, which is concerning. No end in sight. I realize I'm not going to get an answer to my questions that I asked at the last meeting, but I'm going to ask him again. If in closed session, given this involves our tax dollars, has a budget been established? And if so, what is that budget? We at least should be entitled to that information. What amount of money are you willing to spend to collect? And before anybody wants to accuse me, because I know there are people out there, whether this relates to Council Member LaFane or whether it related to you, Mr. Mitchell, or you, Vice Mayor Rhodes, the issue is how much money is being spent to collect. It's our tax dollars. And I think you owe us an explanation. Oh, yes, and I also had the question about the lead attorney, the female who was here. I do know that she was here for the closed session, but she did sit through the entire meeting. And I too hope that we aren't going to be billed doubly for both attorneys at the last meeting. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Eda, do you mind if I ask you a quick question? Yes. You mind? Okay. I'm just curious if you have been helping Councilmember LaFane in litigation efforts against the city.
point of order, Josh.
Denied.
Are we, no, acknowledge my
Your-
point of
your point
order
of order.
for the record,
For the record, I acknowledge.
and then give the reason for the denial.
You have to state your reason for the point of order.
It, first of all, was not brought up in public comment. This is his opinion, and he's asking a member of the public for her opinion. Is that on the agenda?
The chair has the authority to give the
Don't
speaker
smile when
time.
you're saying this, because we're going to do this all night.
I had the authorization. I could
Point of
do this.
order was denied unless it's appealed. Then it goes to the whole council.
And his justification?
He doesn't have to give one.
Right, because he's Mayor Maiden. Okay.
I'm going to back up LaFane because I'll tell you why. Every time I want to respond to somebody, and it's nothing to do with Ms. LaFane, but every time I want to respond to someone, when someone gets up there and tells a flat out big fat lie, I am denied asking a question. So and I'm told it's public comment. and you just got to sit there. So I do. So when people make public comment, whether you like it or you don't, that's just the way it is. And I recommend that we move into closed session ASAP.
Mayor's engagement of
I
needing public comment.
I have a question that I asked, and I'd like to know if I could get an answer.
Be on the record.
Yes, it is.
This is all on the record. It's a vote of the council if they want to allow this
You want
discussion with
to-
Ms. Edick to continue or not.
I vote no.
I vote yes.
I vote yes.
You do.
Yeah, I'd like to get the answer to that, I guess.
Okay, I'm going to have an answer as well.
That's fine.
I'll step up to the podium. I am going to decline to answer that question because what I do to help any one of the council members here, my neighbors specifically, I have helped them, is between me and them. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you. Appreciate it.
The mayor would like me to comment on it.
I'd like everybody to comment.
My comment on it, I was,
No, you would like staff to comment on it.
oh, yes, I would like staff to comment on it, please. Let's turn them up.
Missy, I believe one reason the question is raised is because Ms. LaFane filed a 40-page cross complaint in this case, and your name is all over that complaint. And that was one of the main sources of the expense in this litigation.
I don't have one.
I would
The
like to
idea,
address
well,
that.
if I could finish my remarks first.
Yes.
The intent of this litigation is a limited civil action, which is supposed to be cost controlled and expedited. And that was a big portion of this lawsuit that cost thousands and thousands of dollars that didn't need to be there. So I believe that's one source of the question is that your name is all over one of the documents in this lawsuit.
What do you mean? Define all over.
He'll answer your question.
Actually-
In the margins of your cross complaint.
As the header of the fax number.
I believe that's one of the reasons.
Going to clarify,
Yeah, this is.
because this is baloney. Number one, I do have a fax machine and I have allowed several of my neighbors, and a lady that I don't know who lives in Comanche, but she needed my help. She needed a fax machine. Yes, I have a fax machine. And yes, I positively have offered my fax machine services for people to submit things to the court. In fact, I do this for clients pretty much every day. File documents with the court. The fact that my fax machine was used, I had no part in those documents outside of the fact that they went through my fax machine. Okay?
Oh. I'd file a complaint against the city for that one.
Yes, Mr. Lee.
Well, my comments, Mr. Mayor, from the city manager's position is, again, I have one client, I represent one interest only, that is the interest of the city of Ione. No one else.
Yourself.
And from what I've seen, can I speak without you interrupting?
Oh, wait.
Okay, you wait, all you want.
Read my emails,
Okay.
but let's go.
Yes, I can read all your emails.
No, you
Okay.
cannot.
Well, hopefully one day we can. All right, but in my personal opinion, when all this chatter, all this back and forth regarding attorney fees, obviously it's been staged. You know, Ms. LaFane, you say that, hey, you've done nothing wrong and you're
You
going to
have a
win.
pending lawsuit against the
Right.
city right now. You
No,
understand?
Let him speak, and then you can say anything you want, council member, please.
So why do you keep on delaying
Elaine, what?
the trial? The trial can be quick.
Let's go.
Okay, you heard that? She said, let's
Let's
go.
go.
Okay, all right, so
You guys
don't you
took
stop
9
delaying?
months to file a
why don't you
lawsuit.
stop delaying?
9 months.
Okay, control,
Mr. Lee.
you'll have your time. Everybody have their
9
time.
months, Mr. Lee, to file a lawsuit. 9
Right.
months, 14 special meetings. And have you seen the latest document I provided?
Yes, I have.
Well, then you should be worried.
No, we're not worried at all.
You are driving the lawsuit.
This
I know
is
that.
closed session. I think it should be spoken closed session because you're going to
Yeah,
a little
that's
out of
why I-
You
boundaries.
started it.
But
Uh,
let me
discuss
finish
with
what I'm
Ms.
saying.
Edick.
No.
This back and forth
Back and forth.
about legal fees. Let's get down to the brunt of the situation, legal fees.
You shouldn't have sued
She's
me.
saying, legal fees, but then she has backup, always complaining about the legal being so high, but then
Backup?
they're working in cohort.
Oh, my
I just used the fax machine to fax the machine. Oh, come on.
Mr. Lee,
Believe me.
All right, let's,
years
Let's-
in the
let's-
legal arena. I worked for the district attorney's office.
We'll see.
Mr. Lee,
okay,
I have a paralegal degree.
Oh, okay. All right.
all right.
Okay, so stop delaying.
Okay, we've all had our say.
That was
Councilmember LaFane, do you have anything more to say?
Me, Mr. Lee,
Just saying, stop
you
playing.
quit threatening me. Quit threatening me.
Okay, let's go ahead and close public comment. Anybody else?
This was scripted, another script.
Mr. Rhodes?
Oh, you don't script all the time? Oh, my God.
I don't have to. I can rely on the truth, Mr. Lee.
Me too.
I doubt it.
clock. Please shut up.
Mr. Rhodes?
I would like to have the 4 minutes. I think this ought to be brought up again, that lawyer McGraw's case. They keep saying it didn't come out. It's taxpayers' money that paid for that, multi-million dollars because of 3 councilmen, prior councilmen. And nobody brings that up. That cost millions for the investigation. And if I remember right,
This is public.
the state only pays
Items.
hey, I'm talking, not you. Be quiet.
Ms. LaFane, you haven't been recognized to speak at all right now. If you have a point, if you
I
have
don't
if you have a
drive.
point of order,
See you.
say a point of order if you have it.
Point of order. Your item is not on the
The
agenda.
point of order goes to the mayor, not to Mr. Rhodes.
Comment. And
Go ahead. What's your reason for your point of order?
His beef is
brought up
about
about the
Lori
cost.
McGraw. That's not on the agenda.
Mr. Rhodes, we'll go ahead and please present this at the open public comment, the next
All right,
go around.
thank
Thank
you.
you. Okay, let's go ahead and close public comment. Mr. Watt, do you have something? Okay, let's go ahead and close public comment. We'll head into closed session. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. We're going to reconvene now to our regular meeting. Would you please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance? Report out of closed session, direction has been given. We're going to see if we get approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve.
I'd like to pull number 4 and put it in the consent calendar, please. That's the Amador County Hazard Mitigation Plan. It's a routine thing that's required by the state, and it would save Ms. Mackey from being here to the end of the meeting and giving a 100-page presentation. And she actually would like to have it in the consent calendar too. She shared that with me earlier.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a first and a second on removing number 4 and placing it in the consent calendar. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
With that, I'll second the motion.
Already seconded.
Oh, you did.
Okay.
Excuse me, it's already been seconded. No, there's motion to.
There's a
approve.
motion now to approve the agenda.
Okay.
So,
I'll second the modified agenda.
okay, we have first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Okay. Now we're going to have a presentation and we would like an update from Sam and the Horse Arena project. Taylor? Hi, Sam.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good evening, folks. Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council members and staff, thank you for having me again. I'd like to provide an update on our ongoing work at the Ione Arena. Get the slide, please. Our last meeting, we reported the success of our sponsorship program and the anticipation of scheduled arena events and new benefits for the public. We've continued to focus on strengthening our operations, improving connections and communications within the community, and supporting the projects that are important to the city of Ione. The arena footing continues to be a priority, and it's worked daily. Public riders, producers, and competitors have given us positive feedback on the condition of the arena. I cannot say enough about Taylor and the Public Works. They've maintained the grounds and given it a fresh new facelift and polished appearance. We've done a relocation of the manure pile. We had Golden Sons donate some cinder blocks. We'd have a donation of an audio mixer for sound and music during events. We've gotten great feedback on that. And we had a donation of a bar and refreshment area. It works great for bar service. The biggest thing is maintaining and forging these relationships. It's the continued focus for us now, and it's resulted in producers consistently running the arena out for equestrian events. I would like to thank both of these consistent Amador County producers who are now utilizing the arena as their home base for events. Tip Top Livestock, they have consistently used the arena Wednesday nights for roping and breakaway practices. They became a sponsor in February and they have the arena rented until June. They are planning rodeo events in the future. Also, CE Barrel Racing Association, they have consistently used Tuesday nights as barrel races throughout the summer months. They just announced a summer series race throughout August 2026. And through this producer, we're now working with Clements Buckaroos to keep events on a local level by offsetting race days. So the Ione Arena and Clements Buckaroos are now working together. Food vendors are frequently present at all the scheduled events. I'd like to mention that the arena was booked all 4 weekends in March. It's currently booked all 4 weekends in April, close to it in May, and June and July will not slow down. And we are confident that this summer will be the best it's ever been. As a recap of our last update, we mentioned that we identified in years past that the activity in the arena decreases significantly as the weather improves, and we're obviously on our way to filling that gap. Additionally, one of our other sponsors, the CGA District 27, held a special ceremony honoring a rider, Leah Malfatti, who achieved a Hall of Fame status within the Gymkhana world. According to Matt Fredericks, the president, it was a major milestone for them, and they reported this morning to me that they have had more plus times ran in the last two events than they've had in years, and that the arena looked amazing, thanks to arena staff Taylor and Tino. The ground prep in the event was a major success, and we're honored to have hosted that event. Fee structure and payment methods. I'm happy to report that a structured fee schedule and a QR code payment system have been implemented. This gives ease for sponsors, producers, vendors, including food and merch, that can utilize our fee schedule and pay via QR code directly to the city easily and quickly. We've also implemented monthly membership programs utilizing the QR code as well. I'd like to talk a little bit about sponsorships. When I was here last, I reported that we partnered with 13 local businesses, collecting a total of $12,000. That number has grown to 17, with a total of 14,500. I have 3 pending top-tier sponsors that should come through this week. Hawk Shuttle Ranch, AKW Equipment, Diamond Auto Detailing, and Taco Bell of Amador County have all jumped on with the family of the arena. The sponsorship program is gaining attention and is projected to grow throughout the year. This is our current board of sponsors, what we have currently right now. We named the top tier, the Andy Bonham top tier sponsor, and the second tier is the Rich Gold Buck and Shoot. And all of our Buck and Shoots are now taken by sponsors. Scheduled events. We're now in the event production phase. We have multiple arena events being planned, and our plan is to host events to increase community engagement, to contribute further revenue to the city. For example, we had an event, Dancing in the Dirt. It was March 7th. It was a line dancing event in the arena. This was our first planned event. The general admission was $5. The VIP was $100. I would like to especially thank Ione Rotary, KVGC Radio, and the Ledger Dispatch for all their involvement and support. The event made the front page of the Ledger Dispatch. Not only this event, but as well as all the future events in the arena. And again, the important thing about this is that we have a networking relationship with this community-focused organizations. We cut the cost of planning logistics around our volunteers. We had plenty of donations. Dry Town Cellar, Scott Harvey Wines donated wine for our VIPs. Sutter Creek FFA members worked our entrance gates. Amador County Fair, Sacramento Sheriff, Rodeo Queens were on site to greet public goers. We thank you, Jalen Lopez and Cooper Cheatham. The national anthem and photo prop areas were donated by community members. Aubrey Gold sang the national anthem, and Richard and Christine Gold donated a photo area. This event revenued $3,000 for the city. But more importantly than that, it brought community together. It was an evening where friends and family gathered and memories were made. I believe this event brought positive exposure to the Ed Hughes Memorial Arena, and I believe it placed it back on the map. It was a great night with everybody coming together. For me, the biggest thing was families came together, and that was the whole goal of the event. Our focus is now going to shift to our post-homecoming phase. We will begin aggressively to campaign and ramp up events at the arena that include equestrian, but also non-equestrian events. We have rough stock rodeo events on the future, country, and all genre of music festival days, ranch cod rodeos, amphitheater dinners and events. And for the first time, we have a new discipline. It's a walking horse show scheduled in May. So we're going to focus both on equestrian and non-equestrian events for the year. So what's next? What's next is Ione Homecoming coming up first weekend in May. All of you know this. This is a major event in Howard Park, and it'll be the 150th homecoming for the city of Ione. The reason I mention this is that I believe for the first time in history, at least the first time in a very, very long time, the Ione Picnic Association and Ed Hughes Arena staff are working together. We're solidifying a relationship. We are involved in the Ione Picnic Association meetings. We're making arena decisions together. We're working as one entity that can benefit from each other, making the Ione Arena a welcoming venue. I believe this type of work is very important for our success. Also, back-to-back events. We have the amphitheater open house, as you all know. We're going to have vendors there. Native Sons will be there. We have our Ione hometown band Freeze Out will be playing from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. I cannot think of a better community-based event, especially to have them as live music for the evening and to open up the open house for the amphitheater. The following weekend, we created an event called Boots and Beats. It's a barrel race at the arena. And then we're going to have music with line dancing in the beer garden. So the thinking there is to utilize as much grounds of Howard Park as possible to have people come to the barrel race, enjoy themselves with food vendors, enjoy themselves with Ione Rotary, but come and listen to music as well. So this is going to be the gateway. This will be a first one for a lot of events that are going to be very similar to this. I'd like to touch on social media. The pages continue to grow. We're up to 1,787 followers on Facebook. We've been using social media as a key communication tool, announcing events, highlighting sponsors, the activity, and the daily arena scheduling updates. We're connecting directly with the community, and we're highlighting our sponsors. This approach has strengthened engagement, it's increased visibility, and it's helped build consistent momentum around everything that has to do with the arena. In closing, folks, Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council members, and staff, and the residents of Ione, I thank you for the opportunity of this update. As 2026 moves along, the arena is going to continue to be successful. We're going to focus on community, we're going to focus on heritage, and we're going to focus on keeping Western tradition alive. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any comments from council?
Nope. Thank you, Sam. Keep up the good work. Good work, Sam.
Well done. Thank you.
Okay, I also want to say thank you. The future's looking bright. Just take a drive out there, you can see it. Thank you so much. How about public comment? Anybody for public comment? Please.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council members. My name is Christy White, and I am here tonight on behalf of Brandon Owen. His mom's in the audience too, Mena Owen. Mena and I are both constituents of all of you in Ione. We live in Ione. Brandon Owen is running for the California State Assembly District 9. And if you've looked at the map, District 9 has significantly changed. Not all of Amador County is now in District 9 for state assembly, but Ione is. So we're trying to get the word out about Brandon Owen. He's a new, fresh candidate. He's in his 40s. He's married. He has 3 sons. He's involved with FFA. He is a business owner in Galt, and he has a lot of fresh ideas, including public safety, economic growth, education and families, a big concern, as we all have, of affordability, environmental fire protection, insurance rate, mental health, substance abuse and treatment, homelessness, and veterans. My husband's a veteran, so of course that one checked the box for me. I have left with Janice some leave behind. It's the Kyoshu's and action plans and a little handout on, it's actually Brandon Owen's picture. And then I would like to lastly invite you all to Castle Oaks, the Caddy Shack on Friday from 6 to 9. If you'd like to meet Brandon Owen, and we're going to play trivia. We'll have raffle prizes. It'll be a lot of fun. And you can order your hamburger and your drink and engage with Brandon Owen. Any questions?
Any questions? None for me.
Okay, be sure and get the handouts.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Former law enforcement for 10 years.
Thank you so much. Okay, more public comment?
Good evening, council members, community members, and city staff. My name is Patricia Angija, and I'm a resident of Ione, Castle Oaks Drive. And I hope that the board, the council members, and community members have had the opportunity to read the article, "Contaminated Water from California Prison Sickens Residents of Nearby Town," published on March 24th in the Prism Reports by journalist Emily Nonco, who last May published in The Appeal an article, "If You Want to Live, Don't Drink the Water." The former article back last May detailed illnesses experienced by inmates at Mule Creek State Prison in Ione. This most recent article in Prism Reports details the health issues of non-incarcerated residents of Ione, namely various cancer cases. One thing that really stood out to me, because I have heard a lot of these stories already, so they weren't as shocking because I had already heard of them, but they probably still are shocking to people who haven't. But the one thing that stood out to me that I did not know is, quote, "In April 2025, the Mule Creek State Prison spilled another 177,000 gallons of waste into the Mule Creek." I scoured the agendas of Ione City Council meetings since April 2025 and have found nothing addressing this. So I'm just concerned, wanted to know if anyone in the city knew about this dumping. Was it legal? I doubt it, but if it was, okay, but I don't think it was. If so, was anything done about it? Why wasn't it made public? If you don't know about it, what do you intend to do about it now that you do know? Because we all know now. And I understand Mr. Lee, he talked about the prison is going to be significantly increasing their payments to the city, which will help improvements to the tertiary plant. But I don't want that to alleviate them being held accountable for any environmental hazards they've caused. I kind of see it now as maybe they are trying to use their increased payments to alleviate any sort of wrongdoing in their own hands or guilt. So I hope that those things are kept separate. They should be doing both. So they should be upping their contribution and not polluting our creek. I hope you will make sure that they're held accountable for this to keep all of your constituents safe. Turning to my role as treasurer of Amador's Heart of Gold, which is the nonprofit in Amador County who supports families experiencing childhood cancer in Amador County. We recently learned of a new childhood cancer case, this time in Jackson. And the family has a donation page, and that link can be found on our Facebook page, Amador's Heart of Gold, also on our Instagram page. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia.
Yeah.
Mr. Rhodes.
Coming at me.
I'd like to bring up about Larry McGraw, the Supreme Court of State of California, County of Amador. Laurie McGraw, an individual plaintiff versus City of Ione. And I'd like to read line 22. However, not only has Hankin behaved allowed to continue, but the two other councilman members, Dominic Outland and Ratton and Meyer, who join in with a survey of ad hoc committee with Hankin also being treated plaintiff and properly and with the same level disrespect as Hankin. Somebody said that they weren't in it, and by God, they're in it. And he gets to represent himself. The city's going to protect him. I don't understand how he can go in closed session and vote on this. I just don't understand that. Thank you.
Okay, any more public comment? Trees.
I wanted to give an update on the landscaping issues that we have at Castle Oaks. Chad Simmons of Simmons Landscaping has really done a phenomenal job in cleaning up the frontage and the medians were getting kind of nasty looking again, but that's all been cleaned up. However, I've had a telephone conversations with him and there's lots of issues with the irrigation. They can't find valves, they can't find good irrigation in the front, and we've known that that's been an issue, but there was supposed to be a meeting. I was invited to a meeting for yesterday, and I was told that everyone could come but me, and then I found out no one could come but George. The other, Jody couldn't make it, Chad couldn't make it, and neither could I. The meeting has not been rescheduled, and the residents of Castle Oaks have requested that we have a meeting with myself, Jody, who's on board, Chad Simmons, who's on board, and George, we need you on board to figure out what we can do to get that irrigation fixed, because without it, everything's going to die.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
I just wanted to follow up on some of the stuff from like 3 weeks ago. I was talking about George's Garden that had been approved in August. I went by after the meeting. It looked like somebody's dumped a bunch of stuff there. I don't know if that's going anywhere. One of the suggestions I'd like to make is once we start these things, if maybe we could put them on the calendar until they either die or they do something. We also had the procedure manual that was like, we had to get that done in January. I don't think we've had a meeting on that in about 3 meetings. The other thing that I see is comments are made at the end of the meeting, but there's no public comment. So last time when the city manager was talking about money that was spent and how we had this additional revenue, you can't talk afterwards. So I did a little research. I can't find anything from 2007 where there was any agreement. I did a public request, and luckily Josh wasn't involved, so I got to see the documents and I don't see lines through them. But it looks like, from what I can tell, the only agreement that really had been done was 2015. And we didn't start collecting money till 12/18 of 2019. And we were getting $54,999 every 6 months. So that went on until 2024. Then it went to the 27 that George is talking about. So as far as I can tell, there was no revenue from 2007 till 2019. Janice and Andrea helped me out with that. And apparently one of the things that you guys should look at is when they agreed to that in 2015, they had a dollar amount, but it didn't have an escalator clause. So we've been billing the same amount all the time instead of saying this is what our true cost is. CDCR is supposed to pay 55% or 54, I guess. And then what is it, the Acura is supposed to pay 45, and then we get another 70,000 from the golf course, but that amount has been fixed from what Andrew showed me, so we're not making enough to offset our costs in that. So while it sounded really good, but basically what we're doing is catching up. So it sounded like they tried to ledger us on 2025 to help us out, and then going forward, I think you guys may have to update that so we get true amounts in there. I don't know if I'll be able to talk about the police station. One of the concerns I had there was, are we getting anywhere? We're going to hear from the police chief tonight, but one of the concerns I had was, like I told you guys before, knew of a couple people who were trying to buy that and they couldn't get over 550 on it because they said the barn, the wood was rotten out, that you'd have to level it out. So hopefully we can address that. I know George guesstimated it at 125,000 in upgrades to get that thing current. I think it's probably going to be closer to 250 to 300 when we get there. So maybe we could talk about that too. But just some of these things I see, we talk about it for a little while, like the manual. It was really important for a while where it had Josh running around charging us all this money, and then it hasn't been addressed. The garden is a field now that's like 3 feet deep in weeds, and there's trash over there. Somebody's got a roll-up door laying in the middle of there.
You have 35 seconds.
Got it. So concern there. And then Picnic Hill, I didn't get an answer. Do we make the December 31st cutoff on that? I know that we're scrambling like crazy to try to get that funding, and it was over 900,000. What I'm seeing is it doesn't look like it's done today, and I don't know if we got paid on it or not. So maybe a question you guys might want to ask, because I went by again today and it doesn't look like it's all the way done. I don't know if we got the money or not. So thank you.
Okay, any more public comment?
Good evening again, Marcia Edick. This is for all the people who didn't arrive in time for the comments before closed session. Interesting revelation. I have a fax machine and I've allowed people in the community to use it. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Please make sure to watch the video when it surfaces on the website tomorrow because it was pretty entertaining. My only other comment really is to address something that was just said about the McGraw lawsuit involving the city. And I have actually looked at that complaint, and I just wanted to clarify for all of those people here, there are two parties to that case. And the case is named Lori McGraw versus City of Ione. There are no other defendants named in that case. While reading the context of that case, various paragraphs, either current council members or previous council members, city managers, it looks like maybe city employees, I don't recognize some of the names. There's a whole host of people that are mentioned throughout the body of the document, but I just want to point out that there are, in fact, only two parties to that lawsuit, one being the plaintiff, who is Miss McGraw, and the other being the City of Ione, which is the defendant.
Okay, any more public comment? Okay, I guess we'll go ahead and close public comment.
Zoom?
Is that Zoom? Okay, so thank you. All right, information items. We have Building Department monthly report for February of 2026, the Fire Department monthly report for February 2026, and the wastewater treatment plant report here for 2026. This is for information only, no action to be taken. And we have the consent calendar. We've added number 4 from the regular agenda to the consent calendar. So on the consent calendar, we have 1, the approval of minutes from February 17th to 26th. March 3rd, 2026, and March 17th, 2026. Warrants from April 7th, today's date, 2026. And number 3, adoption of resolution 2026-06, declaring the property at 17 East Main Street as surplus land. And number 4, adoption of resolution number 2026-07, approving the 2025 Amador County Hazard Mitigation Plan and incorporated it by reference into the safety element of the city's general plan in compliance with Assembly Bill 2140.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
I'd like
Second.
to pull item 2, warrants of April 7, 2026. For
Okay.
discussion.
Do we have anything else that needs to be pulled? Wants to be pulled? Okay, why don't we go ahead and vote on numbers 1, 3, and 4?
First, if there's any public comment on.
Yeah, any
1,
public
3, and
comment
4.
on this part? Okay, no public comment. Let's go ahead and close public comment and we'll go ahead and vote on numbers 1, 3, and 4. If anybody would like to make a motion to approve that part of the consent calendar.
Move to approve 1, 3, and 4. Second.
We have a first and a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? So carried. Okay, let's pull the warrants.
First item. Page 5, really, I'm going to concur with Patrice. I went out there to use somebody's fax machine, and I noticed that the entrance to Castle Oaks looked so much better. So I just kind of wanted to give him a congratulations. I know we went round and round for years with the prior contractor and weren't getting anywhere. So nice to have somebody out there doing a job. On page 7, I see Will Dan is quite busy with the city. Are they our sole city engineer now? Or do we still have Weber Gio
Weber Gio is doing the inspections.
doing all the building inspections? That's great to hear. Page 8. It's either page 8 or page 9. One of these contracts we approved, gosh, it was either 2018 or 2019. It was for the wastewater plant. It was the computer programmers. Dominic, you might have to refresh my memory.
Telstar.
Is it Telstar? Okay, so it's page 9. That contract should be up by now. Does anyone know? I mean, we're paying them quite a hefty amount. Nobody tends to look at this fee.
Star's a PLC company. That's the brand of it. You have to use them.
It went out for an RFP, Mr. Rhodes. So we don't particularly have to use Telstar. So I'll just have the contract pulled after the meeting when I request. Page 12, Ruben Mateo, Fire Department Fuel. That's a new name. Are we buying fuel elsewhere now? Because we were buying it from Hunt. Prior to that, we were purchasing from another. This isn't Ruben from the fire department, is it? No? Okay. Okay. And I think that's it. I just had some questions on the warrants.
Okay, any other questions?
I have one. White Brenner,
Yeah, 40 cents.
we got page 10. We've got A. LaFane J. Bolden West LLC, a charge of 40 cents. And how do we get a 40-cent charge? It's clearly a typo. So what's the real number? Okay, I don't need an answer now, but just wanted to point out there's a typo there. Thank you. That's it for me.
Okay, can we have a motion to approve the warrants? Oh, we have, I'm sorry, public comment? Okay, we'll close public comment. Do we have, anybody wants to make a motion on the
Make a
warrants?
motion to approve the warrants. Second.
We have a first and second on the warrants. All those in favor say aye. Aye, oppose?
No.
Ayes have it. 3-2, vote. Okay, public hearing, we have none, so we'll move on to the regular agenda. Number 1 is to approve a memorial bench for Bill Theory, Vice President of the Ione Business Association, Business and Community Association. So, Mr. Lee.
Well, as you all know, Mr. Theory passed away recently, and this was a request by Mr. Schaffel on behalf of the Theory family to place a memorial bench at Perry Old Park in his memory. This is a request.
Okay, any council comments?
I just want to say something real quick, that a couple of years ago, we had a process where people could donate benches at an administerial level where you just go to the front counter and you just get all this done. You don't need to come make a presentation or you don't need our approval. It's all done. I'm just wondering, I mean, not that I want to stop someone from making a presentation if they so desire, but I mean, this is something that we just allow. So I'm glad this is on here. Of course, I support it, but we probably don't need to be here at a council meeting. We could just, front counter can just approve this. So that's all I got on that.
In the
Thank
future,
you.
I will keep that in mind.
Any other questions?
Yeah, is that, you said, is that Perry Earl Park?
Yes.
There's a map shows it at Howard Park.
That's what their request was at Perry Old Park.
Well, we paid some engineer to design something at Howard Park. I don't know what page it is.
It shows it up by the pond.
This is the
Page
other
3.
bench that's already at Howard Park, looks like to me.
Okay, all right.
Owen's
Okay,
bench.
yes, Steve.
Right.
Okay. Nope, go ahead.
Mr. Schaffels here tonight, if you have any questions, and he'd like to answer some questions if you have them.
Okay, shuffle.
Good evening. I'm Skip Schaffel, 533 Fairway Drive. I'm just a proponent for the resolution. Bill Ferry is more than just a vice president of IBCA. He was a volunteer policeman. He worked with the castle. He's worked probably every project that's been done in the city for the past 15 years. He never asked for any recognition. He was always there just to help out. This is just a small thing to say thank you from a community that has benefited from all of his efforts. And that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Schaffel.
Thank you, Mr.
Appreciate your words.
I wish we could make a statue out of him myself.
Thank you, sir. Any other public comment? There we go. Hi, Stacy.
I worked with Bill as a volunteer. One thing I want to tell you is, when my brother passed away, he was really into Halloween. And he had a lot of skeletons and decorations and all that. And that was one of the things that we donated to the castle. So every year that you guys go out there, Bill was actually took those and put them up and have used them over the last several years since 2014. So I just always appreciated him. And last thing I remember him doing was showing Mary how to turn on the light at the bottom parking lot at the castle so that we could have light down there to see. So we're going to miss him and just want to say thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Anybody else on those council have any more comments? I just want to say that it is a big loss for our city. And it's a big loss to the big community at large. Bill Theory was very, very busy and very helpful, and I think it's well deserved.
Yes.
So with that said,
I'll make a motion to approve the memorial bench for Bill Theory.
Second.
yeah, first and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, oppose? None opposed, so motion passes. Okay, number 2. Adoption of resolution number 2026-08, authorizing granting of easements to CDCR for antenna tower and sewer pipeline related to the Woodward Bottom Recycled Water Project. Mr. Lee.
I'll introduce this one and Mr. Lee can
Okay.
add his remarks. This staff report you've seen a couple times before with some updates. It's been before council twice before. My understanding CDCR has continued to follow up with us on memorializing and recording these 2 easements. It is staff's recommendation again to approve the resolution so that the easements can be recorded. Staff overall believes we're in a cooperative phase with CDCR with their recent acknowledgement of the increased payment. At the last meeting, council asked for some further details on what an operating agreement might resemble and some details for future use of the pipeline. That would still be forthcoming and no use of the pipeline would occur until that's in place. And there would be terms for payment emergency repairs, indemnity, and some other standard provisions that the city would need in place. But since the city would be operating and maintaining it on CDCR's behalf, that type of agreement would have to be in place before
would be
it could
operating.
commence use. But this is a step that CDCR would like done before we move on to that
Oh, fair
stage. But I will let Mr. Lee provide any further remarks.
Yes, as you all know, this line was already built many years ago, and under the auspices of Michael Rock, I believe. He had already executed the easement documents in 2023, which were sent to CDCR, but the documents were not accepted at that time because of Mr. Rock's departure. So again, this would allow CDCR the alternative of sending water or disposal water to Woodward Bonham. So it gives them another option of sending water besides the Ione tertiary plant. So staff recommends that council approves this easement as it is the beginning of a relationship, and I believe it allows some various opportunities for CDCR, other alternatives in the event that they need to dispose other areas. This will give them that avenue.
Through the pilot program.
Okay, thank you, sir. Council comments. Councilmember Lefane?
Yeah, I have a few comments. What, other than the monetary value that you've said that the CDCR will be paying the city, Mr. Lee, what has changed since 3-4 months ago?
Nothing. I think they've been diligent in bringing this request back to council because they would like the alternative avenue to dispose of their water.
No, yeah, I understand that. The last time this matter came before this council, we had certain council members adamantly refuse based upon their belief of contamination and say if they want that easement, they're going to pay us $20 million. And it was quite, and it failed. So I'm not on the wastewater committee. We don't get updates from the wastewater committee.
We don't have a wastewater committee.
Okay, we've disbanded the wastewater committee. I thought at the beginning of the year, there were committee assignments that assigned yourself.
The
and another
wastewater
council
committee
member.
was shut
So,
down to
Miss-
save us $10,000 a day in violation from a environmental cleanup.
Okay, I'd like to continue without
Yes,
interruption,
please. Yes, I'll
Uh,
continue, please.
So this very same item was here less than 3 months ago. And members of this council, so there was absolutely no way. And I'd like to know what has changed aside from what you presented a couple meetings ago.
I believe that what's changed is a much more positive atmosphere because again, the increased participation of CDCR will allow.
Maybe I'm directing my question to the wrong person.
Yeah,
then.
maybe.
What has changed with our fellow council
Control,
members?
testing, control of that water.
They
I have
doing-
concerns as I did before.
Please don't overspeak. I have concerns before, Mr. Mitchell, besides testing, which they were doing. We were receiving all the tests. So you touched on some key elements there. And I'm not going to say how I'm going to vote because we're not supposed to do that. We're not supposed to influence our fellow council members. But when things change like this, there's usually a reason. And if that reason's not going to be disclosed now, I'm looking forward to finding the real reason. Because
There's no hidden agenda, there's no gotcha, there's no corruption going on. It's a straight up
I
easement.
have a copy of the 2016 agreement.
Yes, that's good.
I
So do
have
I.
a copy of the pilot program between Regional Water Board and
Okay,
another entity with the potential of taking CDCR water
sure,
through that pipe.
sure.
So those are my concerns.
Okay.
But they're not being discussed here. Again, we're not good on transparency. And Mr. Rhodes is writing that down because it does involve him.
She's
It's an
referring to US Mines, which she's not allowed to say. That's why.
It's an easement. It's an easement. This pipeline was already built
No, I
many years
understand
ago.
that. Yes, US,
Okay.
the city
So,
of Garza
again-
owned it. But when this council, the majority of this council makes an about face, there's a reason.
I think the reason
and
is
so-
because there's been an about face of good faith, you know, which we are trying to improve the relationship.
Before, it was the water.
You know, again,
Thank you very much.
I just want you to continue with no argumentative thing going here, please. If you have, make your statements, please, and
I'd like to finish my
Are you
statement. if I could.
directing to me or to Mr. Lee?
I'm talking, actually was trying not to keep the arguments going, but I'd like you to stay on topic for one thing.
I am on topic.
No, I don't believe you are. I think you're going into a conspiracy type topic.
Here we go. It's.
Well,
talking
it's,
about
you're
the-
maybe saying it yourself, but I'm not gonna, I'm just saying, please stay on topic.
I'm talking about the easement. Water goes through the easement.
Ms. Lefane, there's no conspiracy. There's no gotchas,
No more.
no corruption, like you continue to, you know, try to accuse
I'm gonna just
staff.
let you go now.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Okay, Mr. Atlan, Councilman Atlan.
Couple things. Number one is there wasn't a decision made at the last meeting, so no one's doing an about face because my recollection is it was tabled until further meeting, so we didn't actually vote on it. We did vote on this in 2019. So it was voted on 2019 and it passed. I got a quick question for Mr. Verinsky. If, it doesn't have to be this item, but if we vote on an item and it passes and Mr. Ooh.
They just got used to the city council.
Yeah, it was, they've been listening to the council meetings. That's what happened there. So you can't blame them for that. So my question is, if we vote on something like free ice cream for everyone I own and everybody says yes, and Mr. Lee quits like at the end of the meeting, that doesn't overturn the vote, does it? I mean, the vote is the vote. So what I'm saying is we already voted on this. We already approved this, is already passed. The thing that is concerning, and there's people here are going to be concerned about, is the quality of the water, et cetera. But this has not got anything to do with the quality of the water. That, if that happens, that will be 100, and question for George. So that'll be 100% a separate agreement regulated by the city of Ione. And the city of Ione, my understanding is, so typically when you get wastewater for irrigation, then it's regulated by the law. So there's rules that it can be so on and so forth. But if you make a private agreement with someone, then you can have in there whatever you want because it's your private agreement with that person. You could say, I want this to be this. So where we are now is this is the easement only. It doesn't contain any water. The valve and everything is controlled by the city of Ione. So there would be no way to charge this. And that would require permitting from the regional board, the city of Ione, et cetera, et cetera. So just want to make sure that people understand that this is the easement part of it, which we've already approved. It's got nothing to do with whatever water goes in it. At that time, I expect there will be a lot of people that, you know, may or may not want to see any water going into that pipe. And that's understandable. Everybody has their opinion. So, but
The next step would be an operating agreement.
right. So as we are going now is just the easement for the pipe, which we already approved in 2019. So those are my comments.
Thank you, Councilman Atlan. Councilman Mitchell.
Yeah, the pieces that have changed for me is meeting with CDCR. They've got capacity issues, disposal issues, infrastructure issues, and they sure as hell have water quality issues. I've said that from day one. That has not changed. What does get me thinking is every year I've been on this board, I get voted or outvoted to take water that I know is, or I believe in my heart is dangerous for this community. And it's used, and we haven't upgraded our facilities to handle that water quality. With the funds they've given us, we have a window to fix that problem with extra filtration systems and start fixing the problem as opposed to standing on our hands, sitting on our feet. I don't know, sitting on our hands. There we go. Standing on our hands, sitting on our hands. I don't know, sitting, but we've got to find a way to solve this, you guys. And if you draw a line in the sand and don't do it. Now, for me, solving that means we watch them close. We get control of the water. We get it through our systems and we watch like a hawk everywhere we go for CDCR. I think they're opening those floodgates every time. There's storm gates every time there's a quarter of an inch of rain, and I think it's still polluting the area. That has not changed. The water that comes through our system, I'm going to make damn sure is clean for our citizenry and safe. And the only way to do that is for me to figure out a way to upgrade our systems. They've provided that way to do it. And if I'm not willing to bend and start working with these folks, I'm going to be taking contaminated water, or someone else will be up here taking contaminated water, and we're going to be left right where we are right now. So the job is either figure out a way to fix it or deal with contamination that continues, and I refuse to do that. So the difference for me has been working on capacity, disposal, infrastructure, and water quality, and making sure we get to control that through the city. And that's why I think we should move forward with this.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Rhodes.
Yeah, so this is a start of ongoing negotiations, and I believe we have a good neighborhood rapport with CDCR right now. This was the first meeting I think we're in where we didn't have 18 attorneys staring over our back. They had some really wonderful people. I see a couple of them in the audience there. The one thing that I do want to bring up, I'm going to vote for this, but there's something wrong in here. And I wish Diana Fredericks was here because I brought this up. There was some verbiage in there that said a tower antenna and a tower and an antenna, which is item 1. What she told me was that was a typo, that it was a piece of property that they're referring to as the tower antenna property that was years ago had a tower on it. And that was supposed to be taken off. Well, it's back in there where it's saying they're going to build a tower and an antenna at the tertiary treatment plant. And I didn't think that was nothing to do with it.
I don't think they need the tower. I think they need the land. I think
Right,
that's what
but it's saying right here, they're going to build a tower antenna at the tertiary plant. And so I'd like the language changed. I don't know if CDCR can,
Why don't you make it subject to the removal of the language of the antenna?
yeah, and if they do need to get a tower and antenna, that should go to planning first, not us. But I believe it was a typo. I think
Yes.
that's what it
If
was.
you
So I
could
just,
if you agree, you could just make a motion with exception of exclusion of the antenna.
so it would, yes, so take the language of tower antenna out and just put
Just
the
just
treatment
need
plant
land.
property, I guess, would,
Yes.
okay, so. That's all I did say on it. And
Okay, my comments is real brief, but I agree with both Jack. He summed it up for me perfectly. There's no water going through that property now. I was against it before. The reason this was stopped was CDCR, once Michael Rock decided to leave, they brought it back. They said they wanted it to be passed again. And it's in the packet here that states that. So that's why there was a stop, there delay, and that's why we're voting on it again. So that's the purpose on that. But I too believe we're on a cusp of good things with CDCR. And I'd like to open up for public comment. Oh, Jess, I'm sorry.
That we can't exclude the lingo of the tower because it's needed for operations.
Okay.
So they are going to build a tower?
It is
What-
needed for operations per the.
Well, that ain't what they said at the meeting because I asked that exact question.
I can get clear of it. Our understanding is all the facilities are already there. There's no new construction, and this is just the easement to memorialize what's already there in the access area.
And when are you guys at CDCR clarify that for us? My question?
The tower was in the old one too, in 2019. And
Good afternoon, Isol Alcantara with CDCR. So when we were in the meeting, that was a mistake by Diana Fredericks. She believed that the language was in there in mistake. And when we got back to our office, she clarified what she just sent out, that there is a tower that's already existing but what we're still asking for is the easement. If you see the map that is included in the exhibit, it delineates the area. So,
Okay.
so the tower is for reference. It was constructed. It's already
there.
just like the pipe.
The one that's there. Okay.
But what we are still missing is that right of pass, the right of use with the
Got it.
easement.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Great, thank you. Okay, can we open up the public comment?
One thing I'd like to know is how I got the California Sports Fisherman Projection Allowance in Amador County lawsuit here. And it says right here, the statement means that the pollution by the sewer from the prison will end. All right. They're gonna put this in a pipe. How come they ain't making this good before they put it in that pipe? This is what I don't understand. It ain't supposed to leave them grounds. And the other thing is, this map shows, and this wasn't on it before, this easement, it goes over clean in Silva's land, right across from it. She owns half the road. I don't know if you people know that. Her land goes half the road. She owns underneath the highway a 5-mile drive. And there, it looks like they're trying to eminent domain, set it up the eminent domain, her property. Exactly what it looks like. You look at the map, shows it that way. And that wasn't on there before. What they're doing is bypassing Preston Pond. That's exactly what they're doing. And I just want to bring that out. I think that's wrong. And if they put an antenna in there with an electric valve, they can control that valve. We can't control it. And I worry about that. And I think that there was 7 wells, if you read this thing here, there was 7 wells that were contaminated. CDCR was supposed to check them every year, every quarter, I think. And they never did nothing since 2000, gosh, I think 15 or 16. I just don't understand this. You're dealing with them and I don't trust them. This agreement you have, it better be made public. Everybody ought to be able to see it and they ought to test for everything, not just what they want. I'm really upset about this. Thank you.
Patricia Angija, Castle Oaks Drive. I agree with Mr. Rhodes. I've read many a report from the State Water Regional Quality Control Board, the Central Valley Regional Water Quality Control Board, 2021, 2023, and then as I presented in public comment, they dumped 177,000 gallons in 2025. How can we trust them? I mean, I don't know the legality of, to Mr. Atlin's point, if this agreement was already for the easement already signed in 2019, it's already done. So I don't know the legality of, not enforcing it. If it's already signed and done, then we're bound by it. If this is an argument to go back on it, I encourage you to do so with full force. I don't think they've shown enough good faith, enough of restoring a good reputation in our community to grant them any sort of easement. Last time we were arguing about an easement for AWA and to bring water out to go to US Mine, that was voted down. And yet this, easement similarly is with an organization that we know and have had multi-million-dollar settlements with violating the Clean Water Act 5 years ago. And I just don't think they've had enough time to show enough of a good reputation. They might be saying nice words now, depending on if there was a regime change. I don't know. I'm not privy to this information, but no, no. Thank you.
Jess, do we have anybody on Zoom? Mr. Scully.
Good evening. Ladies, please do not take any of this not so personally. But by all means, I hope it gets under your professional armor. I really do. Nothing personal. Anyway, I'm sorry. I take great umbrage at anybody putting the term good faith and California corrections in the same sentence after my 30 years of face-to-face interaction with this group of people. I do not have the vocabulary to explain my contempt and distaste. I was on the Citizens Advisory Committee in the 80s, and it's just lie, lie, lie. I wouldn't believe if they said the damn sky was blue. But anyway, back to what we're talking about, the water in today's. There's 2 pages in your own Title 22 report of VOCs and SVOCs, volatile organic compounds and semi-volatile. 2 pages just coming out of that plant. 7 surrounding wells, including mine, were contaminated. The state ordered corrections to start testing. They gave them the finger, and that was what, 2018? Nobody's done diddly squat since then. Again, I think it's cute as hell that you actually think you're going to sign a contract with these people and they're going to fulfill it. I mean, come on. After this much time, you've got one from 84 that is grossly unfulfilled, and you're going to negotiate with them? I mean, okay, you can talk to a rattlesnake if you want. Your chances of success are limited, believe me. Like I say, who is it and why? How many times do you have to vote on this and know this stuff is bad for you? It is poison in every step of the way. We have provided you with tests. I don't know what else we can do to get it through that this is bad stuff and you don't want it. And quite frankly, I'm a little surprised with the rancheria because they've got a lot to lose. Because if somebody screws up at this plant of yours, you're going to have a real problem back there in the Martin Bottom. But anyway, again, I cannot express as an organization and no, they're not really professionals. I have been lied to by every level of correctional person, from the state director down to the local custodian that's taking care of the garbage outside. They are not good or trustworthy people. Now, everything that, as far as I'm concerned, everything that's in front of you, complete fantasy. Tell them to come up with some hard data, which they're not real good at that. Now, can I answer any questions?
No. Thank you.
Good evening, Marcia Edick. I think this was on the agenda when I got up here once before, and I believe that the question was, this was to cure a deficiency. The problem was not with the vote, because we know for sure that City Council approved it. The problem was with the fact that Mr. Rock signed it, but it did not get recorded in time before he left. And so this particular, we're not trying to vote again to ratify this decision. We're simply voting to sign the document to cure the defect from Mr. Rock's departure. Is that correct? I think you said yes the last time. Mr. Vinsky.
After your comments, I'll respond. Yeah.
Okay, so I just wanted to point out then, if the council voted on this as has been represented, and the document was presented to whoever was on the council at the time, Mr. Rock signed the document, it did not get recorded in time. This is just to cure the defect and get the current city manager to sign. I believe that's my understanding.
Mayor, I will respond. Generally, yes, if it was an oversight and it's a fresh authorization and a resolution from the council, and I can't speak to what happened in 2019 and what records there are and which approvals that stemmed from. But this is how it came to our attention and giving a fresh authorization from the city to record it.
Okay,
I'm
please.
Virginia Silva, 5 Mile Drive. Everything that Larry said and that Jim has said, I double it. We've dealt with these horrible people, CDCR, since Jim said 85, 84, 1985. We know all about them. We've had everything thrown at us. My property is poisoned. My well is poisoned. And we're supposed to be good neighbors? No. How can you, City of Ione, own the property and let that horrible, horrible stuff come down from the prison in through your public golf course and then into my property and contaminate my wells? And then also, my underground is contaminated for the wells to be contaminated. How much? And then you're trying to make a deal with them? What are you people thinking? What aren't you thinking? This is beyond horrible. So, yeah, I will add to this, and then especially, since the city has plans to come in with that easement, no, it's not going to happen. We've been trying to be good, or at least fair, and no, this isn't working.
Okay, thank you. Anybody on Zoom? Just, any more public comment? Okay, we'll close public comment. Any council comments?
Nope, not for
Ready
me.
to vote on this? Somebody like to make a motion on this?
I'm still discussing, coming back for council comments.
I apologize. I didn't hear what you said.
It was to correct a defect in the signature. He had signed, he left employment not willingly. I'm not sure who said that. And then at that point, I think CDCR said it needed to be somebody who was currently employed. So the pipe is their pipe. They put it in, I believe, not the city. My concern is always trying to think 2 steps ahead. And when the city manager says the next step is an operating agreement, that means they have plans to send water through. And I'm confused, and maybe later someone can clear this up. There's no wastewater committee, but I don't remember a meeting where this legislative body appointed 2 members of the council to meet with CDCR. Don't recall that. If we had a wastewater committee, that would make sense, but I was just told that's been abandoned. So why were 2 council members meeting with CDCR without the authority of the full body? Easements close together, water's a big deal. We know there's water going on. We know there's water talks going on. So.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, entertain a motion on this, please.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2026-08, authorizing the granting of easements to CDCR for antenna tower sewer pipeline related to the Woodard Bottom Recycled Water Project.
I'll
Okay.
second that motion.
Okay, we have first and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose?
No.
We have 4 for and 1 against.
You won your bet.
Yep.
Okay, Mr. Thomas is up on deck here. Hi, Thomas. Thomas is going to give us an update on the improvements to Lupine Drive and Honeysuckle Drive.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and other members of
Good
the
evening.
City Council. Thomas Borge, Axios Homes. We're the builder developer out at the Wildflower subdivision here in Ione. And I'm here this evening to try and clear up what we have going on with the 2 roads that we were having extreme issues with, both Honeysuckle as well as Lupine Drive. We have been working with, in all fairness, I should start by saying that everybody that we've been working with and most of the people that actually on city staff we're not here when this was all going on, and it's tough to kind of piece things together. But we have been trying to work our way through those issues. I'm working with the city engineer in trying to clarify what actually happened. And we've had multiple geotechnical engineers out there with lots of different theories and things happening. What I do know is that we have gotten to a point where we've collected 3 years of data and have multiple reports showing that the settlement has stopped on those two roads. And what I believed we were truly working towards with the insurance company, Travelers Indemnity and Insurance Company, was the fact that we were coming to a conclusion of getting to a point of having the roads fixed. And we seem like we've kind of come to a little stalemate. And I think that really what I'm here tonight, not only to give an update of what we're doing, but more so looking for the council's support to have the ability to do whatever it is that we need to do to really move this project along. There's nobody more than myself would love to go ahead and get the roads fixed. We want to go ahead and make it right, not only for the city, but we also want to make it right for our homeowners and the people that are really suffering on those roads that are there. What I think that we've never really had the support of is we've had some issues kind of having people come together with the city to allow us to do whatever it takes to go ahead and motivate the insurance company, who is really going to be the ultimate payer to fix the roads. I would love to say I have all of our money back from Mozingo Construction, who was the contractor that actually did the work. But those funds were all paid out according to contract. We still had retentions because the amount of retention, which is somewhere close to 10% of probably about $1.5 million contract, was a situation was they had to have the road signed off. The city of Ione never signed off the roads. We only had one public entity, maybe it's private entity, Amateur Water Agency, did sign off the water system that we installed. And they signed that off, but the improvements for the actual city of Ione were never signed off for Unit 3 in the Wildflower subdivision. So with all of the talks that we've had with the city engineer and working together and compiling that data, I think that really we need to move this forward in a scenario of doing whatever we need to do to make it right. But more so than that, we had nobody to authorize us to go ahead and file complaints. And I think that really sitting, doing nothing is only punishing the people that are living on those streets. And that is more of an embarrassment for a company like myself, based on the fact that we should be able to provide whatever we need to provide to do what we said we were going to do. There are bonds. Whether or not we've had a lot of different theories about the issues on doing that, whatever we need to do to be able to move a project forward, whether it be the insurance company, whether that's a legal remedy, whether that's a complaint at the contractor state license board, which we have everything already started to do. I think the support would be there, and I would offer up to the council that we would come back every couple, 3 months, maybe a quarterly report to see just exactly what we've progressed forward and trying what we're trying to do. But I think that we really need to have the ability to make that happen.
Any questions?
I got some comments.
Mhm.
Is it this time? First of all, this has been going on for, what, 3 years at least, maybe more. You are the developer, so I assume you're the general, and these are subcontractors of yours, and you need to deal with them however you see fit. They have insurance, they have bonds. We need to get this fixed, because 3 more years and those roads are still the same condition they are now is unacceptable. So I'd like these to be fixed this year before we get into winter, because yeah, there's people driving on those roads and they're bad. So you should be able to do, as the general, whatever you need to do to get these roads fixed. That's all I have on that.
Councilmember LaFane?
This has been going on for a good 3 years. And I know we've made promises to the people, to the residents that live on those roads, and I know that you've received thousands of phone calls as well. And I know last year the decision was you couldn't beat the rain, and so you were gonna circle back. We got a lot of rain at the beginning of the year, and you guys had to do testing. You had to wait until the rain water had gone away, and that pushed you all the way into June, I think.
That's where Mazingo Construction has kind of gone dark on us, in the
Okay,
facts that we
so-
were
so-
still waiting for the last data for the last drone flyover of showing where the pavement actually had, whether it had shifted or moved at all. And that was something that we've kind of been left out now. And that's why I think it has to go to the next level.
Can't you just
At
go file against their insurance company on their bond?
we've already have filed against it. We just haven't filed the actual lawsuit, which I think if
That's what I mean.
if that's the only way that we're going to move them forward and activate the bonds and activate everything else, as long as I know city support is there, we talked about this almost 4 years ago, and the city wasn't supportive towards us,
Well-
entering into a lawsuit, thinking they might get drawn into whatever the case is. But
Liability there by signing off on the streets.
well, you folks never signed off on the street.
No, on our inspector.
Oh, the city inspections, absolutely. But that's,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that in the interest of getting the job concluded, that's the only way we
Right.
can really do it. And we're willing to initiate that absolutely for certain. I think that that's something we really need to be working together on. And I think that it's fair to everybody who's living on those streets to know what's going on.
Yeah, they need a little bit of a reprieve to see that something is.
Absolutely.
Okay, Councilmember Mitchell.
I think whatever you need to do, you've got the support of this council. We appreciate you coming forward with this, and you've been straightforward with this council many times, and we appreciate the work you've done on Ione. And we certainly back you in getting this fixed so that you can feel good about it, so we can feel good about it.
Thank you, Councilman.
Mr. Vice Mayor.
Yeah, I think if you go back 6 years, one of my first meetings, I said those streets were gonna fail due to the lack of inspections and the horrible construction standards by Bazinga. Do what you need to do. My worry is the same construction company did the last build out of Castle Oaks. And they also did a lot of Shakeley Lane. That's why Shakeley Lane has a lot of its problems. So the other thing I would like to, it's kind of off topic, but not, I think the part that was built properly should be signed off at some point soon, because that's not fair to you. That part was constructed properly, done right. It was the latter part that was screwed up. So thank you for coming ahead with this, and we'll back you 100%.
There's a couple things I like. One is I like being proactive. I received a phone call from you today letting me know that that's exactly what you intend to do. Be proactive and let the citizens and the city council know what you're doing and what the process is. And so I appreciate that. And I say also, I have faith that you're going to do what you got to do. You've always kept your word with me. I have no issues there. So I know it's as important to you to keep your reputation as it would anybody. So thank you. Hey, thank you for coming.
I got one more thing. I see he's not here in the audience, but could you swing by Dave Livingston's house and tell him we're working on it?
He did help me out last meeting, right?
Yeah.
Okay, do we have any public comment? Cool. Okay, thank you, Mr. Boris. Appreciate it very much.
Thank
Those
you.
public comment. And next up, we have, last but certainly not least, update from our police chief, John Alfred, regarding the police station renovations. Oh, you got the floor, my friend.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Council and the public being present for my opportunity to give you an update on the new police facility. So I'll start the project overview and cover the challenges of converting an existing facility into a police station. So certain standards need to be met before the police department can move into the new facility. Unlike other departments, the PD has to follow state and federal requirements unique to criminal justice agencies. Specific things we have to think about are physical security, doors, physical access, cameras, controlled access to sensitive areas, public versus staff access, property and evidence, that has to be securely stored, weapons and ammunition storage, criminal justice information, and network security. There are several policies and guides we must adhere to. So this next slide, this is the United States Department of Justice and Federal Bureau of Investigation published the Criminal Justice Information Services, the CJIS, security policy. This document sets policies for all agencies that access criminal justice information. And that includes physical security, network security, destruction policies, retention policies, training requirements, and access policies. The next document on the screen is from the state of California. It's California Department of Justice. They published the California Law Enforcement Telecommunication System Policy, which is the CLETS policy. And this also sets policy for all state agencies that access criminal justice information, including the physical, basically everything that was on the last slide. Physical security, network security, destruction, retention, training, and access policies. The final document, excluding the actual legal codes, is put out by POST, Peace Officer Standards and Training. POST puts out the Evidence and Property Management Guide, which is sets the policy for agencies that collect and store property and evidence. And that property evidence includes guns, drugs, things that are obviously controlled that can't be accessed by other people. And so, like the other policies, it covers all the same things: physical security, the network, destruction, access, training. And then finally, in addition to the California law enforcement property and evidence, storage is also governed by a combination of penal codes and best practices that are established by POST. Some of the key statutes include Penal Code sections 1417 through 1417.9, which talk about disposition of exhibits. Penal Code 1536, property held by a warrant, and Civil Code 2080.10, which covers safekeeping. So procedures focus on maintaining the chain of custody, secure storage, and proper documentation. So when we take into account all the different things I just mentioned, it's difficult to simply just move into a new location without putting these policies, procedures, and statutes in place. When we moved from City Hall to the current location, which was a bank, the nice thing was the bank had a bunch of those things already in place for us because it was a bank. So it made it a bit easier. The new facility is a blank slate. I mean, it's been used for different things, but it's a blank canvas that we have to build all those security procedures into. So for us to move in, the following things need to be addressed. Physical security, we need to construct a property evidence room, armory, lobby, offices, and then the important part is building hardening, the entrance and exits of the building. We also need to worry about the internal security and safety. One thing that we have to put in is a sprinkler system. It does not have a current sprinkler system in the building. Holding area, internal cameras, doors and access control. With our network, we need to work with CLETS and CJIS to get an approved network map, as well as firewall networking and our CLETS line integration. External security, we need to worry about the parking lot, the building and parking lot cameras, and access control. And the parking lot and the external part is something we can do as we're moving in. The important part is the internal part of the building has to be completed before we can make the move. So let's look at what we have to work with. So working with Weber Geo, we have come up with plans for the new police facility. in this slide, this is the first page, which is shows you where the property is located, which is 217 West Jackson Street. So the second slide here shows the building as is right now. And as you can see in the center of that slide, there's a giant empty room. And that's what we have to work with. It's a giant empty room, nothing in there. So the next slide is the proposed improvements, including the property evidence storage, the armory, which will hold all the department issued and controlled firearms, ammunition, so on, along with offices and cubicles for the officers. Next slide is our egress routes, which are required. It shows in case of an emergency or fire that there's proper egress through the building. Next slide. So next couple are kind of boring. It's showing the structure, the exterior of the structure, and the side view. So this is a little more blown up of the actual big empty area in the center of the building, where the main police operations are going to be handled. And you can see the offices, the lobby is extremely important because the lobby has to be fortified. So if there was an issue, people can't come in, just start putting bullets through the wall. This next slide shows the stairs. So there's only one entrance into the second floor, which we'll talk about a little later. The plan is that will be eventually a dispatch center. Currently, it has one entrance in the back of the building. So we're having the stairs put in immediately. That way, there's two entrances and exits to that part of the building. So this slide shows it's the current barn, and I know it was said earlier about how the barn's got some issues, and yes, it does. But under that barn, there is a structure that's in good shape. And that structure, the plan is that is going to be animal control. So currently that structure has one big room and then a little small room on the back side of it. So this is the concept for that structure. And as you can see, what'll happen is it'll be broken up into three separate rooms. You'll have the office, you'll have a lobby with an entrance to the outside street access. And then on the left side, you can see all the, there's gonna be kennels, a bunch of kennels put in, as well as exam tables and file storage. Now let's talk about fiscal management. I know there's been questions about that. So where are the funds coming from and what are the projected costs? So the police department wants to make sure the public and the council are aware and understand this project's fiscal standing. We want to be transparent and adhere to policies and procedures for this project. So I have three numbers listed on this slide that are important to understand. So the first number is 211,000 and it shows the restricted funds in the fund code. This is the amount of funds that were reallocated at the December 3rd meeting from ARPA. And I'll talk about that on the next slide. The second number is $368,000, and that is in the PD impact fees. So the impact fees are from building that's happened in the city. And this number was the allocated amount that went to the police department in our restricted funds. And so it's there for police department use, including capital improvements. There have been some questions about where our lease on our current location and the mortgage of our new facility are coming from. Both our lease and our current facility are being paid for out of my restricted fund, the impact fees. And that's actually budgeted into this year's fiscal budget. So I just want the public to understand that none of my mortgage nor my lease at the current location are coming from general fund. That's all coming from PD impact fees. The third number, that is $634,000, which is the police department's operation budget. That sounds like a huge number, and I agree. It's a big number. The interesting thing is that $500,000 of that number in the budget specifically for county services. So $500,000 is budgeted for other contractual services in my budget. That's for animal control and dispatch. So if you take that away, that leaves $134,000 in my operations budget. Interesting thing is 22% of my operations budget is actually funded by restricted funds, which is $140,619. So let's talk about the $211,000 reallocated from ARPA. So finance, when they were dealing with the ARPA funds, and I actually watched the meeting. I was out on injury when that meeting happened. They ended up approving the reallocation. So finance found that there was different expenditures that fell within the ARPA guidelines. And so what they did was they decided to reallocate certain funds to those different expenditures. And so what happened was for the police department, we, and it's kind of hard to see because it's a kind of a small slide there, but the police department was basically refunded $338,876 from ARPA funds on expenditures we had made that fell within ARPA, the guidelines. So if you take a look, it's kind of hard to see, but if you take a look on the right side, right-hand column, 3 rows up from the bottom, it shows what we were refunded, and that's the $211,000 that went to our restricted funds. All right, and so that I've got $211,000 in restricted funds now that we got refunded from those ARPA expenditures. So the other thing is we didn't get the full 338 because actually $127,876 was PD expenditures were used to refund that money, but that money actually went back to the general fund. So it actually didn't go back to us. It went back to the big pot for the whole city. So what our intention is to use the refunded money or the reallocated money back to the PD restricted funds to do the required work on the new police facility so we can move in. And our intention is that this project is not funded by general fund, but restricted police department funds already allocated to the PD. So how are we going to accomplish this task of outfitting the new police facility? Well, we're planning on using the California Uniform Public Construction Cost Accounting Act, also known as CUPCA. So a little history about CUPCA in the city of Ione. CUPCA is an act that a municipality must choose to adopt. So CUPCA was enacted in 1983, and it provides voluntary framework for public agencies like cities, counties, school districts to streamline their bidding processes for construction projects. By opting into the act, agencies can use informal bidding procedures for smaller projects, which reduces administrative costs and speeds up project delivery. So at the Tuesday, February 7th, 2009 meeting, the City of Ione City Council adopted Ordinance 421, approving the informal bidding procedure under CUPCA, and it was a unanimous vote. Then on Tuesday, March 3rd, 2009, the City Council approved Resolution number 1703, which approved the adoption of the Uniform Public Construction Cost Accounting Act in the City of Ione. So basically making the city say, yeah, we're going to use this. And that was also approved by unanimous vote. So CUPCA allows a public agency that has adopted the act to complete construction projects through informal bidding in accordance with CUPCA guidelines. This year's thresholds are $75,000 for force account, which is performed by agency employees, and $220,000 for informal bidding. We are currently in the process of obtaining bids for the new police facility to ensure compliance with the program. Our plan is to collect at least 3 bids for each item and then bring them back to council at a later date for approval. So the Ione Police Department's project strategy includes bringing taxpayer money back into the city of Ione. So I broke this up into 3 stages. So stage 1 involves completing the core of the new police facility so we can move in. As you've heard in this presentation already, it's not a small undertaking, and there's a lot of agencies involved in the process. But we want to bring the new building up to state and federal standards for a secured facility, move in, and then bring LiveScan in. So by bringing LiveScan in, that'll bring revenue to the city, but it also will bring another resource to the city as well. So stage 2 involves completing the construction for animal control. And so that's going to include building out the animal control building with kennels, working with the legislative board, city council to modify our municipal code, work with the county health department on the animal control, because there's certain things we have to do with the health department, and then also create a contract with a local veterinarian. Once stage 2 is complete, the revenue brought in will help offset the cost of the city. Revenue includes licensing, because all that licensing will come in-house. Currently, the county's getting all our animal licensing fees. It would include impound fees, so when we do end up taking in dogs and people come get their animals back, there's an impound fee. Violations of Muni Code collected by animal control and adoption fees. And I was actually talking to one of our citizens earlier about this. When we're paying $863 per animal, I mean, it hurts. I know the council's seen some of our bills from animal control, and it's bad. And we can actually staff our animal control with one full-time animal control officer for less than we're paying the county for animals that we're being charged for. And I know there's a lot of citizens, in fact, I had one tonight ask, a lot of citizens are also interested in volunteering time to, come in and help with the animals. So the final stage is dispatch. Building out the dispatch center, working with the county on the switchover, working with AT&T on the 911 lines, investing in radio infrastructure, and then working with the state on the communication center. One thing I'm looking at right now, because the big cost for us on the dispatch center, because the actual room where it's going to be isn't going to have a lot done, because it'll be done in stage 1, is going to be the infrastructure. And one thing I'm looking at on that is grant opportunities. There's communication grant opportunities available out there. So I'm looking at grant opportunities for funding for the dispatch. But dispatch is a couple of years out. We're looking at a couple of years before, implementing that, because that's a little bit longer of a process. Finally, I'd like to just introduce our project management team working on this project. There's myself, of course, Jesse Cruz from the building department, and then Matt Knowles from Public Works has been working on this project with us.
Hey, John, if I could interject, you might want to tell the council how much we spend on the dispatch every year. That's a huge number.
Yeah, we have, like I said, we have $500,000 just earmarked for dispatch and for animal control. So, next slide. So that's basically my presentation. We are in the process of getting some informal bids together to make sure we're falling within the guidelines of CUPCA. We're trying to keep this project under that 220.
10 months later.
So, well, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not a short process. And to be quite honest with you, I was out at the end of October. I went out for surgery and didn't come back until the end of December. So that's why this project's also been delayed a little bit. So anyways, I'm here for any questions.
Thank you. Thank you. Questions for Chief?
And then you should have also gotten some attachments. Last slide shows them, but you should have gotten the attachments on the CUPCA frequently asked questions and then both the resolution and the ordinance that
Okay.
was approved.
Councilmember LaFave,
No questions for the chief.
Councilmember Allen.
So we're not gonna hit our May 1 move-in date.
No,
By how much?
I don't know at this point. We're trying to do this by the book.
All right.
And we're making sure that we're crossing our Ts and dotting our Is. That's why we're getting the bids right now. And we're gonna, we'll be in before the end of the year. But I didn't think we're going to hit the May 1 date to begin with, especially since I was out for that time for my surgery.
And we bought it, what, in July?
No, I don't think it closed in July.
Okay. And so what have we done so far?
We're working with the state and we're getting all these bids in place and hopefully next council meeting. We were hoping to have in this meeting. Hopefully next council meeting, we'll bring the packet to you so you can approve it and we can move forward.
So no physical work's been done.
There's been some demo done in the building by Public Works to prep it for construction.
All right. Okay, thanks.
Councilmember Mitchell,
No questions.
Vice Mayor Rhodes.
Good presentation. Liked it.
I personally don't have any questions, but good presentation. Thank you. Public comment.
So I guess my question to you would be, the city manager said this would cost us $125,000. It looks more closer to $1 million than 125 by the time you harden all those doors, put sprinkler systems. I mean, sprinkler system alone is going to be 100 grand, probably, right? Two-story building.
I would.
Just asking for a ballpark.
A public comment, a basic comment, and if you want to speak with chief, I'm sure he'd be welcome to talk to you after the meeting. So,
You let it happen earlier, so, okay. We talked to Andrew.
well, I mean, public comment is not supposed to interact, so.
He doesn't tell us, so I figured I'd ask you. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, any more public comment? Go ahead. I prefer if you did it after the meeting though, but,
They don't make chairs big enough for me. So just to, respond to your, question, our plan is this project is going to be under the 220,000, yes. And so there's different things we're doing to keep that cost lower, but yet still meet state and federal standards that we have to follow.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
okay, any more public comment? Okay, we'll close public comment. Okay, we have reports and communications from our city attorney. None from Josh. Okay, city manager Lee, do you have any reports?
Oh, yeah, I'd like to remind everyone that we do have the open house of the amphitheater on the 18th. It's going to be a nice event. As Mr. Fabila said earlier, there's going to be some live music, but good chance for the public to see the facility. I mean, we recently had the ribbon cutting ceremony for the irrigation at the Howard Park soccer fields. That came out really, really nice. And they're going to work diligently to get the soccer fields in very, very good shape. Also, the volunteers are working extremely hard to get the train depot finalized. We just got the water meter location finalized, and hopefully we can get that project done in May, is what we're shooting for, sometime in May. That's about it.
Okay, Councilmember LaFave. Council comments?
Still waiting for Susan Peters' contract. Asked for it a few months ago. And I was told she resigned, but I still haven't received any contracts. She was with the city for over about 2.5 years. So if I need to do a PRA request, let me know, but otherwise I would like the contract. One we were provided in 2024, the first one didn't have a signature, and then one showed up a few months later with a signature. I'd like to look at Telestar's contract and see where it's at, Mr. Lee. And then the status of the RFP for the new city planner. Have not seen an RFP go out. And last but not least, the city went in maybe 2023, maybe 2024, and cited the owner of that building with thousands of building code violations and improvements. Which is the reason it went up for sale. So I would like someone to look into that, see if that's something that was considered. It's a little, I was aware that there were multiple building code violations, and we should have been aware of them then, since we issued the building code violations. So maybe a memo or update from staff on what they did cite that building owner with. Huh? Yeah.
Okay, Councilmember Atlan,
Nothing for me, thank you.
Councilmember Mitchell,
Nothing for me, thank you.
Vice Mayor Rhodes.
Got a couple of things. Walk for the Troops is Saturday, the 25th. There's tickets on sale for the luncheon at EB Hall for $50. You don't have to pay to go to the event. I can't remember how many years she's been doing this, but it's a pretty cool deal. Next week, the train depot is going to have water hooked up to it. Me and the mayor met with AWA down there and the engineers, and this has been a long time coming. So the water is going to come in. The mayor's designed the landscaping sprinkler system, and I'm going to bring down some equipment, and me and him are going to work to get that going, along with all the other volunteers have been working on it for years. The Creek Committee, I'll read this off here. This is from the chair, Lisa. The Creek Committee worked diligently with Department of Fish and Wildlife to get an extension for the maintenance of the stream bed alteration agreement, which was due to expire on April 16th, 2026. Inviting Fish and Wildlife to walk the creek and show them all the crucial areas in need of routine maintenance, as well as much needed reconstruction of the areas impeding the productive flow of our creek, was a key part of getting this approval. We're happy to announce the 5-year extension from April 16th, 2026 to April 16th, 2031. We are looking forward to the next phase of our improvements continuing into the fall of 2026. So that's actually a big deal that they got it approved for 5 more years. So, and that's all I have.
Okay, great. The only thing I have is I'd like to recommend something for the Parks and Rec agenda. And I'd like them to do some discussion on the signage at Howard Park for maybe other parks too, for e-bike signage, as far as locations that they can actually use these bikes. It's very difficult to control some of this. I know the police department's doing the best they can, but I would also recommend that they talk with Chief Alfred about it,
We're going to have we're going to bring to the council an ordinance regarding e-bikes.
Yeah, I'd like to see some signage though, as far as the locations that they can actually ride those bikes at the park. I think that's needed.
And you might be able to call Caltrans because it wore off years and years ago. It used to say right on every sidewalk on Main Street, no skateboards or bicycles. So probably call up Ricky Johnson is the man, and he will go paint them back on there.
Okay, other than that, I have nothing else. So we want to have a motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
First motion, second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So moved. Jesse, I guess, okay, we're good. We're solid. I want to good to see you, Mr. Caputo. Good to see you, sir. I'm glad you're feeling better.